GM, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Monday, the 27th of January, and we are seeing Bitcoin and the crypto market crash today. So far, a complete bloodbath over the crypto space. Bitcoin currently down 3.7%, and we need to try and work out what's going on. I mean, I have been saying I do expect some dip down to flush the liquidity under 100,000. I talked about this yesterday. That is what we are seeing play out. We've actually come down into this box here that I quite like as a area of support. Obviously, this has been a key level in terms of previous highs, and we are starting to come into this level again down here around about sort of 98,500 and looking for a reaction here initially. I mean, just looking at the liquidation heat map, we can see, we looked at this yesterday, and I did say there is potential if we don't run higher. I did obviously talk about the possibility that we carried on going up and run higher first, but actually we've come the other way. We've come and we've decided to go lower first. And I actually prefer this. I'd rather us take out the liquidity to the downside and then run the liquidity to the upside rather than being the other way around. So I quite like this as a move, especially on a Monday. There's a really good trading saying called Turnaround Tuesday. So potentially we have a weak Monday followed by a recovery on the Tuesday. And of course, once we get the FOMC out the way, which is on Wednesday, I could potentially see this market then going higher and attacking some of these higher prices. So I am personally viewing this as an opportunity right now to add to Bitcoin. I have added to Bitcoin longs at these prices. I've added very, very small amounts to altcoins. Obviously, first mover in this market is Bitcoin. If we do see a turnaround, it's going to be led by Bitcoin starting to come up and regain 100,000. So, look, I'm not saying that's going to happen right away, but like I say, we could come a bit lower here. If I actually draw on a Fibonacci retracement, we can see we've come into the 50% level, which is always a level I like to see as almost a minimum pullback to actually buy into a token or buy into an asset. So that has been tagged. That's good to see. If we do come lower, obviously we've got the 618 coming in around about 96,800. And then below there, we've got our last line of defense around this 93,400, which is going to be our 786. And then we're going to get additional defense from this trend line at around 92 and this 100-day moving average as well. That's going to start to come up and support the price also. So we do have support coming in. And remember, any bounces from any of these areas, if we put in a low here, it will be a higher low. Obviously, we've broken the trend of putting our high, lower high, lower low, and now we've actually put in a higher high, and what we're looking for is a higher low to then confirm that we are going into an uptrend. So yeah, I know a lot of people are emotional out there. They were emotional yesterday. They've been emotional for the last week just because they're expecting this market to go completely vertical off the back of all of the news. And often that is not quite the way that the markets work. The markets, like I said yesterday, it's doing one of two things. It's trying to decide, is it meant to sell off because we've had all this bullish news? So is it to sell the news, or is it actually the fact that this is new news and actually we should be going a lot higher? So the market has been, really just trying to digest what the next move needs to be. It seems like the stock market has actually, sort of tipped its hand as to which way this is has fallen. So we will get into the stock market shortly because obviously the correlation is absolutely undeniable. But it's really just worth bearing in mind here that this is still completely normal. This is completely expected. If we go back to our other Bitcoin chart, we can see I had talked about us coming down into this level. That's exactly what we're seeing, guys. We're not seeing anything out of the ordinary. We've not deviated away from the path here. Yes, we could have pushed on a little bit higher, then got the pullback, but we have now come back and we have we are retesting prices and levels that I expected us to do. Obviously, we're coming into this week. This is the last time that I picked up Bitcoin was down here on this wick. I talked about it. Again, this was a sell-off early on in the day and then a reversal. Look, I think, again, this is where I'm looking to sort of lean in on the market and position in. And like I say, we can come down lower. We can hit this trend line. We can come into that 618 that I talked about. But I am expecting us to go onwards and upwards from here. So like I say, we've looked at the liquidations on this one. Most of them have now been taken out. We could come a little bit lower here. We still have a little bit left here. If we look at the 24-hour liquidations as well, we can see we've got a little bit of liquidity building up around about sort of 97 and a half. So look, potentially we do come down a little bit lower to 97 and a half. Which is pretty much, yeah, pretty much where we've hit. So potentially we do flush this low that we've already made today into that 618, and then I would have thought that'll be an area for bounce. If we, look at when this market has flipped around or has broken down bearish, normally we get a couple of days of red candles, potentially a third day, which we look to put in a reversal on again here, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But obviously we had sort of a break, a green day in between that. Again here, 1, 2, and we bounce. So potentially we've seen the two big red candles. Potentially we've seen the worst of this move already. Can we come a little bit lower? I think so, but I'm not expecting a significant breakdown here. And it's just funny that everybody is starting to get super, super sort of bearish and pessimistic and negative again at, in my opinion, exactly the wrong time. It's just absolutely crazy gauging people's emotions. And I think a lot of people just need to flip their thinking and mentality. Like fundamentally, nothing has changed for Bitcoin from between here at 98,000 and when we were trading at 108,000. There's absolutely no change. It's the same asset. If anything, fundamentally, the case for Bitcoin going higher this year has only got stronger, and the price is deviating away from that. So this is an opportunity. It's not this is not an area to start to panic or get worried or get overly concerned, in my opinion. And like I say, I could be wrong. Nobody is 100% right. Nobody's 100% accurate. We all make mistakes. We all sometimes sort of read the market the wrong way, but I'm feeling pretty confident here. And like I say, I just take you back to the path. We are on track. I am expecting us to push up away from this. Potentially this runs a bit longer and a bit deeper, and takes us into, sort of early February, and we need to, sort of do something like this, and we see the move happen more so at this pace as opposed to the pace we had before. I'm not too sure. Obviously, this is not to scale, but in terms of the actual price moves, this is what I believe we are seeing playing out. So, yeah, I think we are coming into a low over the next couple of days. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. I'm then expecting us likely to see a bounce later on this week, and potentially this correction plays out a little bit longer into the start of February. But I'm still viewing it as an opportunity. This is what I've been saying. If we do get dips, I was talking about that when we're up here. If we see dips, they're likely to be opportunities to buy and add to the market if you can. If not, you really just want to be holding and waiting for the market to resume higher. So the other thing I wanted to look at was the funding rate as well, funding rate heat map. I mean, completely neutral. There is no overheated funding whatsoever. This is not how the market tops. This is absolutely not how the market tops. When this market tops, we're going to see people coming out and they're going to be saying it's just a blip. It's a short-term dip. They're going to be buying the dip. Everyone's going to be super bullish. We're about to make the next leg up. This is what happened in 2017. This is what happened in 2021. Same thing will happen in 2025. People are going to be completely bullish You might be turning around and saying, well, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying might be making you nervous. You might turn around and say, well, yeah, it's people like you. You're still blindly bullish. You're not actually recognizing that this is likely a cycle high. I totally take that on board. But again, I believe that those people calling for continuation here are not in the absolute majority. And for me, until the last buyer has bought, until every single person I know that is involved in crypto is fully long this market, and by the way, they're not right now, that's a sign to me that there's still money out there to flow into this market. So, yeah, I'm going to obviously use all of the data around me to make those assumptions, to make those opinions in terms of where I think we're going to go from here. But like I say, I think this is a great opportunity. I'm putting my money to work right now at these prices. So, I can't really say anything other than that. Ethereum as well, for me, massive opportunity here, coming below sort of this level at 3,100, coming below the trend line. I said anything under this level down to around 3,000 is a great buying opportunity. And look, we could come a bit lower if Bitcoin decides to take another leg lower, slightly, more so down into the mid 90s. Expect Ethereum to come maybe as low as 2,800. I think that would be our absolute lowest price we would go on Ethereum, assuming we're still going to be bullish this year, which I believe we will be. So this is really the area I'm targeting just under this wick. I've got limit orders around there, and that's where I think potentially we could go if we get one more flush lower on this market. Solana as well, sort of coming in. So I had a couple of support boxes drawn on here. First one of which being around 230. We're breaking below that. The next one coming in around about sort of 210 to 215, around about this 618. So yeah, I'm thinking Solana could also come a little bit lower, which would be really scary for a lot of people. I mean, people were getting very, very bullish on Solana up here, thinking it had broken out, thinking we were going to new all-time highs. But you want to fade the hype, a lot of hype, a lot of attention, a lot of FOMO. You really just want to fade that. I mean, I wasn't necessarily selling Solana here. I wasn't buying it either. I was saying, look, happy to hold it on the long side, but if we do come back, this is where I want to make my buys at a discount. I don't want to be paying a premium. And obviously, we were right at the top of the range there. So, yeah, potentially we come a little bit lower on Solana as well. And again, I've got orders in down here looking to capitalize on that. Pepe has been absolutely annihilated, losing its 200-day moving average. Really, with Pepe, I want to just get back above this sort of 1274 level, which was obviously a key level that we rejected from before and went a lot lower when we did. I'll be looking for us really to hold that level and hold some of these levels sort of down here around about sort of 1155, etc. So yeah, potentially we come all the way down to this 786 now, which is around 1065. So that is I might mark this on here as a box. That is really, I think, where Pepe could go to. Of course, it could recover from here, start to sort of close back up above the 200-day moving average. And if we saw the rest of the market turn around, I think Pepe would likely turn around just as quickly, if not quicker. But yeah, we just have to be aware that things could come down a little bit more before we get to a bottom in terms of this correction. And that's really it in terms of the cryptos. So just in terms of what's driving this, we've obviously got the dollar falling. The dollar weakness is, like I say, good for our crypto assets. We know that the Trump administration is going to want a weaker dollar. So this is actually good to see. So again, we shouldn't be too concerned, I don't think. What is really, really concerning us, and I'll actually go on to the NASDAQ, is the news that's come out about, I believe it's a company called Deepseek. There's a Chinese AI company. And I mean, this is, for me, is really just complete and utter FUD. But it seems to be completely fudding the NASDAQ, and especially with it being such a large component or the index for tech stocks and AI stocks. So the story with this Deepseek is that apparently, it's like a chat GPT killer. I mean, none of this is particularly bearish for AI as a space. It could be obviously a competitor to some of the US AI stocks or AI, products, and this is really why we're seeing this reaction. But this, to me, this looks completely overblown. I mean, we're down 4.7% already on the Nasdaq today. Obviously, a massive gap down, and we're coming into what is massive, massive support here. We've got support from our 100-day moving average, which held as support before, also the previous high in July of 2024. So I'm not expecting the Nasdaq to sustain this move. Of course, it could come down further. I think worst case scenario, you'd be looking at a move below 20,000, but this just looks like a complete overdone knee-jerk reaction, and I would not be surprised if we close back above this 2792 level, back above this high, back above this 100-day moving average at the end of today after potentially putting in a bit more of a wick below. So yeah, complete flash crash right now on the Nasdaq, and of course the S&P is following it down as well. So the S&P potentially has some support coming in here at around about 5968, and this descending trend line that obviously it broke out from last week. So I'll be looking for support to come in on stocks pretty soon actually. And yeah, this is a real outlier, a real deviation from usually what we see. Obviously, we did see a massive sell-off in the Nasdaq in December time. This is obviously FOMC driven. That was about a 3.7% move, and obviously this is a lot more than that. Well, we can see here it's now 5%. Obviously, the move coming from last week's close, which was here. So we've got over a 5% move now on the Nasdaq. So yeah, let's see where we go. But obviously, this is really what's causing the wobble in Bitcoin today, is that correlation with the Nasdaq and the stock market. So, of course, if we do come down a bit lower, expect Bitcoin and crypto to come down a little bit lower. Does look like that is the case right now. I was trading around 98,390 at the moment. So, like I say, next levels are going to be 96,800, and then below that, if things get really, really ugly, probably as low as about 93,400, just playing off the fib levels there. But like I say, I do still think this is an opportunity. So I know this is very hard, especially if you're heavily exposed to altcoins or if you're highly leveraged. Definitely, it would have been a good idea to de-risk any highly leveraged positions. I think last week I did talk about the possibility of there being a pullback. I think right now, probably it's a bit late to be looking to sell or go short or deleverage. I think really if you can ride this out a little bit lower down to obviously down to the low 90s, it probably is a good idea to sort of stay positioned, make sure you've got plenty of margin, add in orders if you want to actually add to the position. I wouldn't just blindly ape in here. I'd wait to see some sort of strength, some sort of reversal, some sort of wick on the downside to indicate that it's safe to jump back in. And with altcoins, like I say, they're all getting completely smashed today. So, I mean, you can look at my watch list here. These are mostly altcoins that I've got leverage positions on myself, sort of down 10-20% on a lot of these. So yeah, it's just really a case of managing risk and staying safe out there, and letting this move play out, because there will be better days to come very soon. I'm still very bullish on 2025. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you all on the next one. GM.